What's up, y'all? Happy Thursday night. All right. I got a couple of new settings on my stream here that I'm not familiar with, so I almost didn't make it. But I finally got it right. So hope you guys are having a great week. Excuse me there. Hope everybody is doing well. So let's see who we got with us tonight. We got the Raider. All right, Texas Raider, my man. Texas Raider is in Oklahoma. Is that right? All right. Debbie Jones is with us. Wants to say hello to everybody. Grammy C. All right. Let me get down here a little bit. There's my girl from Tennessee. All right. I know you said your husband's wearing his shirt today, and that's great. Hope y'all are enjoying those. I think he looked pretty good myself. Who else we got in here? I like to see all this conversation between you guys. That's right. That means that you're socializing, and that's one good thing about this group right here. We got a good bunch. Craig is with us. All right, my man. Next time you get down this way, give me a call so we can get together and do lunch, man. Yeah. Come on in. There's the Saint. Hey, we need to watch the weather for Sunday. They said it might rain, so let's keep our eyes on that. Hopefully it won't rain us out. Looking forward to going down to the range down there in the Hollapaw and popping off a few rounds. There's Kathy C. in the Iowa crowd. Lynn Stalker is with us, as well as Bill Kilmer. Hey, there you go. You heard me, Bill. We're going to be down in your area on Sunday. I'm going to get down to the gun range about noon. So if you want to come join us, come on over. If nothing else, we'll just, shake hands and shoot the breeze for a little while. There's Wanda Landry. Good to see you, girl. And Tammy Joe. Yeah. Who else? Anybody else in there? There's Scruffy Scrubs. There's my girl right there. Yeah, thank you so much. There's the man right there, y'all. Rural 2IC. If you haven't been watching that channel, you need to make sure you get over there and check it out because he's got a lot of great stuff over there. He wrapped up his Preparedness Month series yesterday, 2 days ago. Yeah, today's the 2nd. But it had a lot of good information available for everybody. Each day he had a good topic that was prepper related that'll help you out. I guarantee it'll make you think. Demo Man Don is in the house. Happy to see you is with us. I'm about to get to the bottom of the list, so that might be there's Patriot Ordnance. He dropped in. And my man Greg. All right. Thank you so much. Janet Neese, watching you on the big screen. The redneck in all his glory. All right. David T4. There we go. And Todd Neese is with us tonight. Is that it? No, there's Katie. Thank you so much, Katie. Getting a little chilly up your way. Wish it would do that down here real soon. It hasn't been as bad this week as it has been, but hey, it's still hot down here a lot of days. I was going to get out and cut the grass the other day, and I said, nope, it's too hot for that. Grit and Grace. There you go. Come on down. Who else? We got anybody else in here? Got a good long list of y'all. Thank you so much. There's another channel you got to go check out right there, guys. Got any kind of bushcraft related questions? Getting out hiking, camping, whatever. This guy right here can answer them for you. You got to watch that channel. He's got so much great stuff over there. And he does a lot of work about the tools that you use when you're out in the woods. And it's very, very helpful. And J1. All right, I hit the bottom of the list. There he is right there. Thank you, brother. Thank y'all so much for being here. But we're going to touch on a couple of topics before we get into the main thing here, where I'm going to tell you, give you a couple of tips on things you need to do in the first 24 hours of a SHTF situation. Now, you can probably actually do them in 4 or 5 hours, but we're going to go through that a little bit. I want to drop a couple other comments first. Right off here, we know last Thursday was the first day of legal open carry firearms in the state of Florida. So this past week, everywhere I went, I was paying attention to see if anybody was walking around, showing that sidearm. I did not see one gun. Did you see any anywhere?
Mm-mm.
No.
Nope.
But we do live here in Florida where everybody wears their clothing loose, and their shirts are usually outside their pants and covering up stuff like that. So maybe that was a factor.
Of course, we didn't go to Kissimmee, St. Cloud area.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It's all our neighborhood's not going to be the people doing that.
But I didn't see not one firearm anywhere.
No.
But there was a good 2A ruling on the 30th, September 30th.
Okay.
A good positive 2A ruling for us. Previously, it's been illegal to carry a firearm. They said it was illegal in a post office. Well, it wasn't really illegal because it wasn't a law. That was just a policy that the post office instituted in 1972. Well, on Thursday, a case finally made it to federal court where a guy was arrested for carrying a gun in a post office. It was back last year sometime, but it finally made it to the federal court level, and the court ruled that the federal government cannot restrict anybody carrying a gun in a post office. It's not a sensitive area, and they had to, of course, drop the case. But here's the killer. Pam Bondi took time out of her busy schedule to go argue this case herself and try to keep that law in place. Now, I thought Pam was going to do a good job. I really did. But she's not. This is about the third or fourth time that she's come out against the Second Amendment in her, 7 months, 8 months of being in that job, 7 months, I guess. She's obviously not a 2A advocate. So I'm looking forward to her being gone real soon. I would really like to see that. As much as I wanted to see her in there, because I thought she would do a good job, I want to see her out more. I'd like to see Judge Janine get that spot. You talk about somebody that loves the Second Amendment, somebody that's honest. Yeah, I think she should get that spot.
Todd has a question.
Are there any videos on how to correctly shoot with 4 missing left fingers? Honestly, I've never tried to look that up. Is that your dominant hand? Hopefully it's not. If it is, you just got to work, man. You got to work with that weak hand. I know back when I was training back in the day, and I still practice it occasionally, I make sure I work with my left hand, which is my right hand. I'm right hand dominant, but I also work with my left hand to make sure I can still pop off a couple of rounds and you don't hit the target with either hand. So you might want to concentrate on doing that, brother. I mean, I know it's tough, but you got to do it.
He's right-handed, so it's not his dominant hand is right.
It's not your dominant hand. Good.
That's got to help.
I mean, I know the way you hold a firearm, your dominant hand does most of the work, but you'll get through it. You will. I believe you will if you just work at it, no doubt. But another thing I wanted to talk about here is Pete Hegseth's speech the other day. Did y'all see that? That was great. He just straight up told the higher ups, you got to be just as healthy as the people you command, or you're not going to be here. And I think that's great because they got a bunch of fat generals up there, admirals, that they can't run from here to the end of the block. I can't either, but I'm not in the military. But
you're not a general.
Yeah, I'm not a general. But he told them straight up, you got to get in condition. If you don't, you're out of here. And he's going to stop with, promoting people on DEI grounds and stuff like that. And of course, the liberal media went nuts. Right off the bat, they were all shouting, he's trying to do away with minorities and women in the military, and just going on all that crap. But I mean, the women have to meet the same standards as the men. I have personally seen that that's not the case. That's not been the case for a long time. But now that's the case. So hopefully they won't lower standards just to make sure everybody gets through. And the way Pete operates, I don't see that happening. But another cry the liberals were wanting to shout over on MSNBC especially is China don't care about DEI. China's our biggest problem and they don't care about DEI. Well, that's straight up crap. They do care about DEI. They want our military to be as politically correct and as weak as possible. Yes, they do care. And that's exactly why our military needs to stop that crap. That's it. You can't meet the standards, bye-bye. But the funniest line, I watched him and the president speak. I don't know if you guys watched it or not. But the funniest line all day was President Trump, When he come up, all the generals, during Pete's speech, are all sitting there all proper and they don't clap, they don't laugh, nothing. First thing President Trump says, while I'm speaking, if you want to laugh, laugh. If you want to clap, clap. He said, hey, even if you want to get up and walk out, go ahead. But there goes your rank and your job. I said, yeah, that's my president right there. Did I call out JS in the roll call? My man right there, JS Genesis Design. Thank you for being here, brother. If I missed you, I apologize, guy. But now, I don't talk a lot of politics here. You know that. Trying to get away from it, but they keep pushing it on you and pushing it on you, and you got to comment on it, or you just look like you're not paying attention. But if I'm talking politics, okay. Talk politics back. If I'm not, I don't want to hear that crap. And right here's a good example of what I'm talking about. I got this as a comment on my storm warning on Saturday. When the storm was just starting to develop, nobody knew what it was going to do. And, I made the comment, well, they can't tell you where it's going to go because they don't know right now. And this is the comment I got back. Of course, they don't know where it's going to go. Trump and company cut the funding. They hate science because they're not smart enough to understand it. What the hell does that have to do with a hurricane? Now, this is obviously a person that's never lived in a hurricane-prone area. At that stage of the storm, if they had 10,000 people watching it, none of them could have said exactly what that storm was going to do. Don't do stupid shit like that right there. If I'm talking politics, you talk politics. If I'm not, don't. And don't show your TDS because it'll happen. Same thing will happen what happened to that person. The comment was deleted and they were blocked. I will no longer see comments from that person. It's not that I'm restricting anybody's speech, but let's stay on topic, guys. It's that simple. Let's stay on topic. But let's get into a couple of things here we need to be watching that could affect us personally. First off is the money. Gold hit a record high today. Silver's been flirting with 29, but it dropped back down. Gold dropped back down a little bit. But this isn't good for our economy, guys. I mean, if you have gold and silver in your stash, that's fantastic. But that just means the dollar's getting weaker. And right here's some of the reasons why. I mean, we're seeing where BRICS and the BRICS countries are building up their gold reserves, their central banks. It's believed they're going to create a currency to try to compete with the dollar. I don't know if they can ever do that. They might be able to because the dollar's really getting weak. And even if they don't, they're shoring up their central banks in these countries, and they're making trades in their local currencies and in the Chinese yuan, which is killing the dollar, which is going to kill our economy. So that's one of the things you need to keep a watch out for, guys. Keep your eyes on that. If we do have an economic collapse, all these tips I'm going to give you here in just a few minutes, you will need them. It's that simple. But I also found this a little interesting, and I actually did a lot of research on this one this week. I saw these reports where the Portland police they won't do anything with Antifa. And there's several areas of Portland where the police just won't go. It's that simple. Antifa's taking them over, just like what they did, when they took over that, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago, they took over part of Seattle. It's similar to that. But the police just will not even answer emergency calls in these areas from residents. And when the police are not there to protect people, they have to do it themselves. And that's why I keep telling you, you got to be ready to defend yourself. Don't depend on anybody else doing it. Be equipped and have what you need. Make sure that you can take care of yourself if something bad happens. Thank you, Grammy. Hit that thumbs up, y'all. I'd appreciate it. But that's just an example of what's happening in our country right now. And it's not getting any better. So keep your eyes open, guys. It's that simple. But here we go. Hey, Buzz, what's up, buddy? It's all right. You're never late. That's fashionably late, brother. You're here for the important part.
Tamara asked for prayers for her granddaughter. She's having eye surgery tomorrow.
Who
Her
did?
little baby granddaughter. She's young. Tamara?
Oh,
No,
okay.
no,
There we
instead.
go. All right. There we go, guys. Let's get them prayers going.
She's 5 years old.
5 years old. Oh, my goodness.
I know, right? So
Let's
scary.
pray for that baby. And hey, prayer works. I know that for a fact, y'all. But we're not going to get into a religious discussion tonight. I'll save that for a better time. Off the wall. Thank you, brother, so much for joining us. All right. But let's say one morning you wake up, you have no power. Power's off in your house. You grab your phone. Phone don't have a signal. Automatically, something ain't right. So you run into your living room or you turn on the TV in your bedroom. Excuse me, God. And there's no signal. Nothing. Everything went sideways while you were asleep, and you didn't know it until you woke up. So, what are you going to do? It's what we're going to cover in the next few minutes. This is what we have planned. This is what we're going to do. I think it'll help you guys out.
Make your face thick.
But, oh, yeah. All right, I got to get that out of there. Thank you so much for reminding me.
It's my job.
Yeah, but step one, here we go. Step one, assess everything in your household. The people, okay? Make sure they're okay. Make sure they're aware of what's happening. And don't forget Tucker. All right, we can't forget Tucker. Make sure your pets are in the house or they're in a fenced-in area. If they're out wandering around, make sure you get them in the house. Make sure they're there for the next whatever period of time until you find out everything's okay. Okay, turn on or get ready your emergency power. Make sure it's ready to go. If you need it right off the bat, like I said, you turned the TV on and there was no signal. So let's say that there's no TV, okay? You would get your emergency power going. Okay, you station all of your emergency lights around your house. You got to have one, in the kitchen. You got to have one in the living area. You got to have one in your bathroom area if your water's still working. But make sure you do that. And then you try to gather intelligence. Now, if there's no TV, there's probably no radio stations working either. That's why I keep telling you guys, get you a ham radio, get you a shortwave radio for sure. Because those frequencies are going to be popping. Believe me, you'll be able to gather so much information just by listening. You don't even need a ham radio. Get you a good shortwave radio. And you'll get so much information you won't believe it. When things are that bad and the only communications anybody has is ham radios or or stuff like that, that shortwave can pick all of those up and you will get a lot of information, guys. And before just like out of the blue, you realize this isn't just my town. This isn't just, it might not even be just the United States. And if that's the case, you'll know it. because people will be talking about it.
Genesis says, make sure you know where your shoes are.
Absolutely.
So it's,
Got to know where your shoes are.
yeah.
Speaking of that, you need to have a pair of boots too, close by. Second thing I'm going to recommend is secure your location. You got to secure that place. If you're locked in, and you want to be, if this is where you're going to ride it out, you got to take your lockdown measures. Make sure everything's secure. Nobody can get in. Then take your blackout measures. So nobody outside will see light when you have it on. That's very important. And then ready your firearms and gear. Now, right there it says get you a plate carrier and plates, level 3 minimum. If you don't have those, get them now while they're still legal. Because if they ever make firearms illegal, they're going to come after the vest, bulletproof vest as well, believe me. Because we all know the reason why they're taking your guns is because they want to do something that would make you want to shoot them. Well, they're going to shoot back. So you need all the protection you can get. Get those plate carriers now. Get those plates now. That level 3A is good up to a 44 Magnum. It won't stop big, large, hot rifle rounds, but it's better than nothing. And you can get them. They're light. We have a couple of them. And you could wear them under a shirt like this, and people wouldn't even see it. So make sure you get those now. And here's a very important step. Establish communications with your team and your family members that live outside of your home. Especially, your family members. You got to make sure your loved ones are okay. Your team should already know what to do. A lot of this stuff you should already have in place and ready to go, folks. But your team should already know what to do. If they're on the way, they know what frequencies to be on those radios so you can contact them. Now, this is going to be one that trips us up right here. That one right there is going to be one that trips us up. Because I've made sure that our local family members have radios. And I even made a little instruction card and put it in the box with the radios. That goes step by step by step what they have to do. Everything. Put the battery on the radio. Turn the radio on. I had to make it idiot proof. I'm not saying they're idiots. I'm just saying in a stressful situation, people don't always think right. So the simpler you can make these procedures for people that's not ready for it, the better off they'll be. And the emergency radios I gave our family members, they have 2 frequencies. They can't get lost. Push this button, push that button, push this button, push that button. They can't get lost. I made it as simple as possible. And you need to make sure you do that with your loved ones that don't live with you or the people that are not on your team. They have to know it has to be made simple. And that will be actually in the long run better for you, because once you establish that communication with them, you're going to feel a sense of relief because everything's going bad. All right, what else we got here? Oh, SC made it. Good evening. Thank you for dropping in. There's the farmer. Yep. Husky Mama made it. All right, thank you. We're going to the range on Sunday if you want to join us. We'll be down there at the Triple N Ranch on Sunday at noon. But step 4, these are some, like I said, you can do these things in the first 4 or 5 hours, but make sure they're done in the first 24 hours. First thing you need to do is review your supplies. Your food, your water, your medical supplies, everything you see there, lanterns, flashlights, power banks, all your extra equipment. Go personally check it. If you don't already have a good inventory of those things that you can access, make one now. But even though you have that inventory, you have it printed out, go put your eyes on it, go touch it. Make sure it's ready to go. And then check your transportation. If it's an EMP, your car might work, it might not work. You never know until it happens. And thank goodness it hadn't happened yet. but you need to have bicycles at least. As we know, EMPs ain't going to affect those. Your ATVs and UTVs, check them, see if they work. Because a lot of times the components in a manufactured vehicle, a Ford, a Chevy, a Chrysler, whatever, they're a lot more complicated than ATVs and UTVs, and they will get knocked out, but your ATVs and UTVs won't, because they don't have as many electrical components in them. What we got here? That's one great thing about living off grid. We have to check all of our stuff pretty much daily. Good. That's great. I have no doubt you guys are on top of it. None whatsoever. Step 5. Here we go. This is where it gets serious. Really serious. You implement your action plan right off the bat. You should already have this done. You should already know it. You should have it written down. If you don't, you got to know it. Believe me. First thing right off the bat, get your security watch in place. Because the longer we get from the event, the further away we get from it, the more dangerous times get. The first 2 or 3 days might not be too bad. But like that old adage, it says, the U.S. is 9 meals away from chaos. When you get out there around day 4 and 5 and people get desperate, they're going to start doing desperate things. And you have to make sure that you are ready for that. You need to have a good security watch. Okay. And you need to devise a plan to get new resources as you use yours up. Make sure you got a plan to retrieve water. You got a plan you got somebody that can hunt. You know where to hunt. And you got a scrounger, somebody that can just go out and dig around in dumpsters or trash cans or whatever, looking for more, things that you can use. And here's an important one, and a lot of people don't give it the credit that it needs because it's very vital. Make you a menu, a daily menu, and stick to it. Because if it's a long-term thing, like it says right there, you might need to start rationing as soon as possible to make sure you can feed yourself and everybody in your group. That's vital. A lot of people overlook it. It's up to you guys. This is just some of the tips I wanted to give you because times ain't getting any better. That's for sure. Every day things get worse. Right now the government shut down. They got a close sign on the Capitol. They had to take down the for sale sign. I'm looking for the one where it says out of business. That's what we got to look for, and that's what we got to prepare for. But that's just, what I'm looking for. You might be looking for something else. But if you do these things, I put this together, been thinking about it for a few days, put this together today. Hopefully it'll help you out. And, I'm thinking about maybe next week doing one a week out from the event. Okay, it's been 7 days since this happened. How's things changed? What do you need to do now? Stuff like that. I'm thinking about putting that together next week. We'll see. Just in case, we never know what might happen between now and then. But if you got anything you want to add to that list, put it in the comments below. Good ATVs to buy, very little electronics, and are not EFI good.
On the Ford trucks.
Yep, and there's lots of them out there, guys. But basically, make sure you have a bicycle. Get one with a basket on it. That way, if you got to go get water a mile away, you can put that 3 gallons or 5 gallons of water in that basket, and that's a whole lot easier, believe me. Better than trying to carry it. Have you ever tried to carry 5 gallons of water? Thank you, brother. I appreciate it very much. It's not fun. It's heavy.
That's the same size as one of those water cooler things, right?
It's a big, like a
you
big
have
jerry
to flip
can.
over onto the water coolers. Oh, those things you can't lift those. That's crazy. I never could.
Yeah. Grammy C got more deer in their backyard this weekend. Good. You know what you got to do? Get prepared.
So she said I was not prepared.
Yeah, yeah. A deer, you get you a good sized deer, that thing's gonna feed you for a long time. It really will. It's a lot of good meat too. So get ready for it, guys. Like I said, things ain't getting any better. They keep pushing the envelope, and they're going to push too far. You know, we're still hearing people begging one particular group of people cut out all the radical talk, all the Nazi talk, all the fascist talk, and they won't do it. They just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And if that ever does go down, it's going to be a nightmare for everybody, and you need to be ready for it. So I think I've pretty much covered, what you need as far as your comms go. If you didn't see those videos, go back and check them out in my library. I've given you everything to set you up with firearms and communications and food, tips on food. If you just go back and review those videos, there's no reason for you not to be ready. It's that simple. And I'm not the only one doing it. There's hundreds of other channels out there doing it. So if you get caught with your pants down when the shit goes down, it's your own fault. It's that simple. Let's don't do that. All right. But if you got anything you want to add, do it down in the comments down there. As long as it's not political. This is not a political topic. So with that, I'm going to say stay strong, keep prepping, and pray for the USA. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Hopefully I'll see you next week. The Orlando Prepper is out.